Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Shoes. Welcome back to the Shizen Hogo-Ku Zoo here on Planet Zoo in our franchise mode. Welcome back. Today we are going to be undergoing huge renovations for our giant pandas in our zoo. And today we are going to be doing something a little bit more different than usual. We are going to do a little bit more of a speed build slash kind of more like I'm going to take the camera off and then I'm going to kind of come back on and all that fun stuff. But right now I just want to go over the basics of what's actually going to be happening. Right now our pandas do not have a very good habitat. I mean, like, they enjoy it, but our people don't. They can't see it, so we're going to try to make it better for our people to see, meanwhile making sure our pandas are still happy. So therefore we are going to be making another habitat further up the mountain right by where the current one is, and in the process we are actually going to be building a garden from our little circle that's further down there where the hill incline is. So you will be able to see that here shortly, but I'm going to show you a little bit of the little speed builds that I started doing, and then after the little graphics we're going to meet right back up and we're going to talk about what happened. So I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so I hope you guys like what I just did there, just a little bit introduction of what I did. However, as I said beforehand, I was going to show my face and kind of just give you the rundown. However, I had a big recording issue where my voice didn't happen, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a speed build with you so we can figure out what's going on. But we finally got down the idea of the habitat, which is really nice. I did raise the land a little bit toward the front. It was very deep down and sunken to where it would be really hard for guests to view it. So therefore we did raise it up a little bit, and we have this sort of illusion to where if you are looking from our little pathway up there, you kind of look over and it looks like they're almost on the same level with you. They're a little further down, but they look like they're on the same level with you because we kind of raise the land as you get closer to the back of the habitat, which is really nice. We did a little bit more of rearranging, making the habitat a little bit smaller so these guys can't hide from our guests as much. So that is something that we had to keep in mind. The big thing that we really had to focus on when we got into this habitat was really putting in the plants and making sure we made all these man-made structures look like it really fit into its environment. And that was really important for this habitat, especially with these pandas. The biggest thing that I did was add in the ivy to our castle to make it look like it was a little bit overgrown, but also make it look nice and pretty at the same time, which I thought it worked out very well. But as for our barrier in the back, I was planning to make it a null barrier, but I decided, depending on what I do later in the future, I'm gonna have to change it regardless, so I didn't spend too much time on it. We ended up using wood in the back, but then I forgot that these giant pandas needed a grade 4 security barrier, and the wood is only a grade 2. So therefore we did end up changing it to a little rock. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like this weird metal and rock mesh type thing. And what we ended up doing is we ended up throwing in the bamboo back there, really kind of hiding that barrier, which was very important. Back to the building here, we do end up adding a sign into our building here so people know where they're entering, not like they already know, but it adds that little extra detail, which is important. And we just end up saying Panda. That's really it. It's just Panda. If I added too many letters on there, I think it would get too much out of hand, so I decided not to. But we end up adding some nice decorations to this place overall and give it these nice little colors to the building so it looks a little bit more inviting, doesn't look as gray, which was very important when we ended up making this area. As for the building inside itself, we end up adding some more light fixtures, and we also add light fixtures on the outside so it gives it that nice nighttime feel, which was very important for this building. And as it was, the little inside to our little viewing area does actually work. I will say right now that that stuff all works. So don't worry about it. It's not a repeat of our tiger habitat. because now our people can actually come in and they can actually see them while they're sleeping. So, which kind of sounds creepy now that I say it, but that's the only way you kind of drag them in there. So that's why I mentioned that. Another thing I do want to mention, however, is that we did have that little fountain inside, which you may have just gotten a sneak peek of, where we actually have like 2 buckets in this little light, or this little bucket area of like a little fountain. And what we do is we have like little, water kind of go up and go from one bucket to the other. I thought that was pretty neat. We did have a little bit of open gaps within that area where there was no path, just because of the width of the path didn't match up with the building grid it was on. So we ended up using that toward our advantage, and we actually ended up adding an ATM in there along with some more decoration pieces that look like, where people could go over and sit down on, or sound decorations. Like you can go over and sit down on a bench, you can look at some nice pretty things. But in this game, if you were to add that on an actual path, people would walk right through half the things you end up putting down. So therefore, that's how we used it. So that was a little bit about our speed build, and unfortunately I didn't even record anymore. So therefore I'm going to bring you into the zoo and we're going to talk about what else there is in it. So let's get to it. Okay, so welcome to our zoo. So there's actually a lot of things that happened. So here's a little bit of a rundown, right? I briefly mentioned this. My whole recording issue kind of happened, and so therefore this is why this video is whack. So the audio never really showed up, but we're gonna do a little bit of an overview of the zoo so far because I did a lot of editing. And the one thing I do want to mention is I've added these fences everywhere to where there's gonna be construction areas, such as over here. So what is this tree doing in the ground? That's gonna bug me. There we go. But we're gonna, now it's floating above the ground. I'm so energetic right now, it's awful. So these fences will actually be able to kind of block off the view from any sort of construction. So for an example, right over here, we have a nice little construction pit from our previous Bengal tiger habitat. And basically when you're down at this level, you can't see through it, quite obviously. And I got these off the Steam Workshop, just adding for more realism. And just to go along with that, we do have a few more kind of just scattered all over the place. We have these like little carts and stuff, and we have all these little vehicles over here, which I think are awesome, and these little bins and stuff like that. We're gonna make everything look like it has a purpose now. We're gonna add a little bit more realism into everything, so I hope you guys appreciate that. So that's where we're gonna kind of aim for, more or less, toward the future. We are doing a great job with our food court. Very, very busy, and we have a lot of people working for us. It's going to expand. We added to more decoration on the building itself. And then we're going to do a big, not big, but we're going to do a medium-sized staff headquarters here as well for more of our people that work at all these places. So we'll end up taking care of that. And then obviously we're going to replace this panda habitat. This is the old one, so it drastically changed. It doesn't look like a bad habitat, but obviously not the right viewing point, that's for sure. But our panda habitat, look at this. This guy welcoming you in here, and the bridge is down for right now. We're going to take care of that later, and I'm debating whether or not I want to change it. But you look from up here, perfect viewing angle, right? Everyone's excited. Everyone should be quiet. So I hope you are not going to leap into the habitat. Please don't leap into the habitat. Please don't do that. But you come over here. Oh yeah, we have our great garden over here. I didn't talk too much about it, but this is our garden. Looks very pretty, and kind of didn't get finished off over here just because I'm kind of debating how I want to kind of merge in certain areas and whatnot. So we'll get to that later. We'll figure that out as time goes on, but we're going to pretend like it was meant to happen. So yeah. Anyhow, we do have our little handicap access point. This is off the Steam Workshop as well. So it's just adding to that realism once again. We do have a ramp. We have the staircase as well. Come down here right into the panda habitat. We got the billboards. And some of them sink in. I didn't realize you could change the colors on these, so I ended up changing the colors on them. And this is our little bucket here. I'm going to hit play. Ooh, yay. I wish I kept the stream consistent, but it didn't. But I thought it still looked cool, so we're just going to go with it. But we have our ATM over here in a little box. I could have done better with it, but I didn't. So it's just going to stay as is for right now. So everything in here looks, I would say, pretty nice. People are in here very often. It doesn't get really full, but it gets full enough to where it's like, I hope I'm earning money off of these certain places. This says $300 to $400, and this one is just around the same. You guys can't see it because of my webcam, so sorry about that. But the temperature gauge for these places, we kind of hid them, but we kind of also made them noticeable in some areas. So like we have a heater right here, a cooler right here. These guys do live in a temperate biome, and we are in a tropical biome, so therefore it does get hot for them. We need to bring down the temperature. We kind of hid this one in here underneath the ivy, so when you get close to it, it kind of is hidden, but down back here it's a little bit more noticeable. We also added them into the walls back here, along with the lights, so people really can't see them. You're all the way up here. You want to be able to see them. And unfortunately, we had a few in the ground also, so we are going to be spending a lot of money on this habitat. We do have our generator stuck back here and our little keeper's hut, so it should work out just fine. And this is where another habitat is going to go at some point. So everything is splendid. Everything is going to work out great, hopefully. I like where we're going. That is where I'm going to end the video. So I thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys do enjoy where we are going in this series. If you haven't already, be sure to hit subscribe. Please like that thumbs up button if you would like to help support out a YouTube channel that is just starting up like I am. I'd highly appreciate it. We are still small. We want to grow. Comment, suggestions, concerns, anything like that, be sure to let me know. I would highly appreciate it. And if you would like to join our Discord, there is a link in the description below. Be sure to join that. Subscribe at the same time. Tell me you did those two things, and I can give you a free shout out in the next two videos. Be sure to do that. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.